Okay, this is a video of one-point perspective, and we're going to be doing a road with a row of trees. So I've started out with a white piece of paper and put a line across the middle, and that represents my horizon. And you can see I've put a little dot here for the vanishing point. Now we're just going to do a nice straight road with a wide triangle. The bottom of the paper creating the third line of the triangle, and it doesn't have to be exactly shaped like this, but it works. Okay, so these are guidelines more or less right now. We can soften them up and make them more artistic, but I just want to go through the process. I'm going to do a very light line here. Hopefully we can see that on the video. Yeah, good. And a line up here. And just on the one side for now. And from here, I'm just going to mark some vertical lines. These are going to be a row of trees. And they get a little closer together as we go. And we've got this. It could be telephone poles at this point, but they're going to be tree trunks. And now I'm just going to mark along those, the base of those lines I've drawn. I'll put a few more back here. As you get into the vanishing point, get toward the horizon, everything gets a little softer in clarity and color. So I'm going to make these like great big corn dogs. You've seen these kind of trees, I'm sure. Like I said, further away we get, the softer and a little blurrier things get. You don't actually have to get it really detailed out there. It's not how we actually see things, because of the atmosphere obscures things. Now I'm going to make these a little bit rounded. Down here, and notice everything gets smaller as we get to the vanishing point. And there again. Okay, basic structure there. Now, this is not about being a wonderful, inspired piece of art. It's really just about the process. We'll go through this process a couple of times, but if you don't do the process right, the picture won't be very convincing or persuasive. So now we're going to imagine we've got, I'm just going to jump into this. We're out over here on this side, essentially way up there. Light is going to be coming this way, so I'm going to put that light is from this angle. There we go. Light. That means that down here and on this side is dark. I'm going to use the overhand. Now, when you're doing this, I'm not that worried right now about technique. I know this is an early lesson, and so if your technique isn't perfect, I'm not worried. I'm not actually worried about my own technique. I'm worried about making a video right now. This is the first video I will have made of this. So we're just going to shade one side of it, kind of break it up a little bit. And like I said in the welcome to the class, it's okay to not be very good. It's even okay for me not to be very good, because that's where growth happens, and hopefully I'm growing as an artist and a teacher. So hopefully you are too, and you allow yourself to make mistakes, and you allow me to make mistakes, and we can just, be open to growing. So shading just one side really does help things look, I don't know, you kind of get the story of it. There's sunlight over here, so there's going to be shade on this side. And there again, not too much definition out there. We're going to go through the trunks, and we're going to shade the side of the trunk, each trunk. So the shadow is on the right side, light's coming from the left. And each one of these, I'm just going to put a little vertical line across side of the pencil. Notice I'm holding a pencil pretty flat, and I'm going to dip down just a little bit, and it's just a line that dips down, and it's going to dip back up. That makes it look like the road is impressed in the ground. It's not exactly level. And back here, that doesn't matter so much. Everything gets clearer and brighter. The lines are darker when we get closer to the viewer. So we're going to have a little definition on the road. I'm going to break this closest shadow up a little bit. I'm going to add a little texture to the road there, make that a little darker. This whole line here, I'm going to go in with my eraser. Just reach off screen here and grab an eraser. And I'm going to erase that because it's too harsh for me. And while I'm at it, I'm going to erase one here and some of this in between. So you can still see the structure there, but hopefully it becomes less encumbered by the lines I've drawn around it. I'll lighten this one up, kind of just erase that back there. If you've got questions on something like this, please email me or message me in Teams, because I'll get back to you. So, a little bit of grass here. All the definition I'm working on is going to be up front. A little grass over here. Shouldn't be grass on the road. And since the light's coming this way, there's going to be a bank of grass on this side. There's grass over here too, but it doesn't stand out as much because the sun's hitting it. That's when we get a little bit of a shadow. And I'm just going to use the side of the pencil and give us a little shade there. Pretty simple, but effective communication of one-point perspective. You can see that it's a road. It's, you can always throw stuff out here like hills. Well, thing to remember when you're drawing hills, if your light's coming from over here, your light's still coming from over here, so this is the side you want to shade. And that can be helpful there. That line's a little too dark for me there. You can kind of fill it in behind the trees if you want. Alright, try to keep it simple here. You can always throw more stuff in there, but yeah. A very similar lesson that I've taught often before is a railroad. How to draw a railroad. Railroad's great, but you do get hung up with all the details of the the railroad ties and the spikes and the gravel and stuff. This has a little bit, it's a little easier. Alright, when we sign a painting or a drawing, you want it in the picture. So if we were to go to frame it or whatever, we're going to put it right there where we can see it. I'm just going to put my name there. I'll put the date. That's what I want you to do. Last names are good too, but yeah, there we go. Macintosh. So you can see how that works. Don't put your signatures on the back. I just want you to be able to take a picture of it and see your signature on the picture you've done. Don't sign somebody else's work. That's not okay. And just like if you were writing an essay, you'd put your name right there at the top, hiding it in the weeds here. That's great if you're like a counterfeiter. Those are kind of fun things to do, I guess. If you're trying to hide your signature in it, you want there to be a signature, so you hide it in the grass or the leaves. This is really where it should be. Should be obvious, should be right there. Shouldn't distract from the picture, but it is on the picture, as part of the picture. So please put your signature on there. I will grade you on where you put your signature. It's the easiest thing to get right. So thanks very much. That's my under 10-minute video on one-point perspective.